I was so freezing. Oh my God.
Okay, can I start my podcast, please?
Oh yeah, go.
Okay,
Ready.
great. Welcome to my Just Jenny podcast. My guest, if you recognize her voice, is Heather Dubrow, and I just can't quit calling her Heather Page Kent Dubrow. Is it just me and my sister who call you that? Does anybody else refer to you that way?
Lots of people still refer to me as HPK.
Okay, HPK, but I like the name fully said
Heather
out. Like,
Page Kent. Listen, if Terry and I get into an argument, I threaten to go back to Heather Page Kent.
amazing.
Yeah,
It's just amazing.
it could
And then,
happen.
yeah, it could. It's not. I think you guys are pretty well formed and pretty well
Oh no,
cooked.
I'm never leaving him. I'm
Yeah,
just saying I could change the name.
just for sport.
Yeah, why
Perfect.
not?
You are back on the Real Housewives of Orange County. So, what was that decision like for you to leave and come back? What was your why?
Oh man, it's such a good question. There was a lot. I laughed when they asked me because I had been off for 4 seasons, but with the pandemic and everything, it was 5 years. So
Mm-hmm.
it was literally 10 years from when I started the show the first time.
Amazing.
And I felt like I left the show really well, which is, a pretty interesting feat to accomplish.
Yeah.
And I was in a good spot. And I was like, why would I want to do that? I'll tell you. Number one, it's an incredible platform. I
Yeah.
mean, it just is. You want to sell things, you want to, branch off into a different area of your career, you want to promote your podcast, you want, whatever it is, it's a huge platform.
Yeah.
The other thing,
Yeah. What's the other thing?
the other thing was because of my kids. So Max had come out as bisexual.
Mm-hmm.
And when she came out, it was like there was lots of amazing comments and very concerning and sad stories about parents that were estranged from their children and vice versa, kids that had taken their lives and all these stories.
Yeah.
And people related to Max and me and our relationship. And Max had started a podcast called I'll Give It to You Straightish. She ended up writing a book of the same title. And so all of that conversation, I was like, whoa, not only selfishly can I use this platform for me and whatever it is I want to do, but also wouldn't it be cool if we took the platform and maybe helped other families and
Yeah.
at least started the conversation for people?
Yes. Yes. See, I had danced around the idea of reality television years and years and years ago. And then I felt like we couldn't offer up enough drama, not within our family, because that I don't think that that's your thing, but like the drama with people. I'm so conflict averse that I'm scared. Like I would not want to fight with any, like I'm not that person. So how would
Right.
I be able to even do it? But I love like the idea that it does give you a platform. It does give you a bigger audience.
It does. And also, look, all shows, scripted, reality,
Yeah,
whatever it is, are based on conflict and resolution,
of
right?
course.
And that's real life too
You
in
have
our
to have it.
families.
Yeah.
Now, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's got to be fighting. The show wasn't always like that.
Right.
I
When
feel
you
like,
started, it wasn't. It wasn't
it,
that level.
it
Yeah.
wasn't that level. It was like,
Right.
you broke the bow off my cake
Yeah.
and ate it. And we're fighting about that. And it's so dumb and petty and hilarious
Yeah.
and sparked conversations about silly things, friendships, relationships, and then intertwined, just like in real life, because it is real life, serious things would happen. Someone's
Right.
parent would die, or people would get divorced, or
Yes.
in this normal, natural way.
Yeah.
And it was about all of this friend group dealing with it. I think the problem is with all reality television, as the years go on and people are schooled in the ways of reality TV, it becomes more of a game of survivor. And I think that's where,
It gets
the
hard.
pitfalls are. But when I went back on the show, like I was saying, like I thought we were going to talk about Max. I had no idea. I mean, I knew Katarina was gay, but I didn't know she was going to talk about it on the show.
Right.
And it was like we were just having this scene about gardening. And in the middle, she's like, I think I'm going to take my lesbian flag down. I was like, why? And we have this great conversation. And when we were done filming, I said to her, I go, listen, I can't remember how old she was. She's 16 now, but at the time she was 14, 13.
Yeah.
And I said, I guess 14. And I said, listen, you're 14 years old. We can talk to production if you feel uncomfortable putting this out there. And she goes,
Right.
no. This is totally fine. And maybe it'll help people. And that's why we ended up, doing a lot of press around it, is because she felt very passionate
Yeah.
about trying to help other youths. And I thought
I
it
think
was
that's
amazing.
great. That is
Yeah.
amazing. And that's actually a testament to her, but also to you and Terry, because of course, because we're on a first name basis, me and the good doctor,
Of course.
because you've created an atmosphere in your home, appropriately so, of your kids are just your kids. And I
Right.
think
And we're
that's,
not perfect.
yeah,
You
well,
know,
nobody
no one
is.
is. No,
Nobody
no
is.
one
But
is.
I think that kids can sense when their parents are not just doing sort of the best they can, like they're paying attention to how they should be parents. Like, no. But I think your kids know that you just love them. So it doesn't the stuff that they go through, whatever it might be, you just love them no matter what. And that's really, you think they're everything. And that really matters.
It does matter. You know what else is interesting? And I bet I'm so curious to hear what happened with you and Keith.
Yeah.
So I obviously know you guys for many, 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 many
Yeah, I
years.
didn't even give that. By the way, I didn't even give that
I mean,
context.
I've known you since
Yeah.
you were, I think,
18.
16,
18.
17,
Oh, no,
18.
yeah. 18. No, younger than that, because Stacy
Yeah.
went to college when I was 16. So yeah, like
Yeah.
17.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So funny. So, little Jenny. So now that the twins are in college,
Yeah.
and they're meeting all these new people, and over the holidays, some of them came to visit.
Yeah.
We've been to Boston. We've been to, we've done all that stuff.
Yeah.
And Max and Nikki have been saying to us intermittently, but again, one of them said it recently, that their friends make comments about me and Terry as a couple.
Right.
And they say things like, God, your parents love each other, or
Mhm.
wow, my parents really like each other, but your parents are in love. And just like comments like that, or how cool we are. Not like we're cool parents, because we're not.
Right.
I mean, we're not.
No, just that you're intact.
That we're intact, and
Yeah.
we speak to them like adults, and
Yeah.
and we're interested in them, and we have a great relationship with them. But I think that our kids just assume that this is normal in all families, and even though they had friends growing up, I guess they knew all those parents, so they didn't strike them. And so they're getting all these comments, and they've told us this recently. I bet that happened with you and Keith. Did it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that it happened with like their friend. It's more like my kids make fun of us. Like they actually are the ones that, like Jacob will say, the two of us will have to stay together forever because we're too codependent. We could never function without the other. I mean, they're funny because we are, for better or for worse, we are very much a together couple, a normal couple. I mean, I always like to talk about that because I think that I think that sometimes married couples who've been together for a long time will present this front of something easy and seamless. And
oh, please.
no, I know you wouldn't, and I certainly wouldn't, but I think it's important because there are women and there are men who are in long-term relationships, and maybe it's been a bad month, or maybe it's been a
bad year.
whatever. Right. And they're thinking that there's something defective with them or with their partner. And maybe there is, by the way, check into it, obviously, but maybe there isn't. And sometimes I think that people are quick to kind of go to the door when they hit a bumpy patch. But like the most beautiful times that we've had throughout our time together have been sort of in the wake of a horrible storm. And those moments where it felt like everything is for naught, but then we have each other to cling to. And you don't get that without the strife. Like you don't get it. But Keith and I, through all of it and all the stress of like everything we're doing now, we still just start to laugh, right? Like you just, because you're safe and it's your person, and that's like a beautiful thing.
Okay, so you and I, all right, so you were on my podcast recently, and we talked about you and Keith and me and Terry are in a very similar like
life
crossroads.
Space. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we only have 2 kids gone, and we still have 2 at home, but the third, she's in high school,
it doesn't
she's
even
almost
count
gone.
those kids. Exactly.
The youngest
right.
one,
exactly.
whatever.
Who cares? Right.
So, and then we sold our house, and we didn't mean to. And now all of a sudden we're in this, you can see I'm in this rental. It's like,
right. What are we going to do? Yeah. We're in that spot right now.
But we're in the, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And you were saying it too. And it's like crazy. And I know you're a creature of habit, so it's probably a little anxiety producing.
Oh, or a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But are you excited? And has anything changed since I talked to you last time?
No, but this isn't about me. This is about you. But
oh, I'll tell you what we're doing too.
Yeah. No, I mean, we put our house on the market. That's what changed.
You did.
We did. And I just put it on. And I actually am excited for the next person to get to have a crack at living here, because my kids had a really beautiful upbringing, and I'll start to cry because that's emotional for me, and change is hard. But it's for every reason, it's the right time for us to not be here anymore and to hand it off to somebody else. And where we're going to go, I don't know. We're sort of waiting to sell the house and then kind of figure out what's next. I think we'll probably want to rent initially. I don't know. We don't know. Like the two of us, we go through so many different ideas, but I just care about being driving distance for my kids at all time. Yeah. Like they don't have to live near me, but I have to be able to get to them. Like that's what I feel is the role of a mom, or a parent. So, but you guys you sold your house because someone came in and wanted it and bought it. Yeah. You sell your house, now you're renting, and have you figured out what that means? Like what you're going to do from here?
No.
Right.
I mean, we haven't. So everyone
you don't have to.
Everyone thinks we moved to LA, but that didn't happen.
And then you're on the Housewives of Orange County.
Beverly Hills, right? No, but what happened was we bought an apartment in LA, and as soon as we closed on it, my gosh, I don't know how they find this stuff out so fast, but all of a sudden we closed escrow, and there was a call from the Wall Street Journal
already,
like within an hour. It was crazy.
So when do you move there?
So this is what happened. So we didn't really mean to get a place. We were just looking for places. So Heather El Moussa from Selling Sunset and Tarek El Moussa from all the flipping shows are friends of ours. And we were like, yeah, we're going to look for a place in LA. And they're like, we'll show you places in LA. And so the four of us started hanging out. And it was supposed to be research. Let's see what area we want to live in. Let's see what here, blah, blah, blah. And we found the apartment. And I was like, oh my God, I love this place so much. But it took 5 months of negotiating to get it, because we were kind of really far apart. But anyway, we get the apartment and we go into escrow. And then 10 days later, someone like drops out of the sky and makes us an offer on our house when it wasn't on the market. It wasn't anything. And we were like, yeah, okay, this is cool. We thought about it for 5 seconds and went, yeah, great. Made a deal within 2 days, had to be out in 3 weeks. You're going to see all of this on Housewives, by the way.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting and fast. But anyway, that apartment is like a little pied-à-terre. It's 2 bedrooms.
Right.
It's for me and Terry.
Right.
It's not for the family. And now we're kind of screwed a little bit, because it's like, well, we don't want to have too many places. So now where are we going?
So can you sell that one now that you bought it? Can you flip it?
I'm not selling it. I'm keeping it. I love it. That's where we want to be when they're all gone.
That's right.
So that's a little, and now we use it like, it's like our little love shack right now.
That's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
And Terry does Botched in LA.
Perfect.
So he stays up there a couple of nights a week. I join him at least once, sometimes twice.
Cute.
And and the apartment's amazing. And I feel like it feels like the future. That place makes me so happy. Oh, but I will tell you this. So when we sold the house, I really wasn't emotional. I am not attached to things.
I'm not either. That's so funny, because Keith has more attachment, and more like my husband and my son have much more like attachment nostalgia. And Raquel doesn't either, except when she'll be in the mood too. Like if she's getting her period and she's emotional, then everything is going to make her knees buckle. But other than that, she's like me.
Yeah, I'm not attached. I'm attached to my people.
Of course.
But the things, it's brick and mortar, it's replaceable, it's whatever.
Course. Yeah.
But this particular house that we sold, I designed every square inch of this house. And if you still want to see it, you can go to my YouTube channel. Just go to Heather Dubrow on YouTube, and I do a full tour, every room and details and design things, if you're interested in that sort of thing. And I loved the house, but it was time to go. But so what I did was, I had met the family because I gave the tour, because it wasn't on the market. And it was a big house, and there was like hidden rooms and things, like
so fun.
No one knows the house. Anyway, so I'd met the family, and they were very lovely. And so when we left, I left flowers. I left something for the kid. I left things,
so
and
nice.
I left a note just saying, like, I'm so excited for you, and we built this house with so much love, and I hope you make beautiful memories here and all that.
Yeah, I think that's really sweet, actually.
It was. There wasn't really any acknowledgement of all
Is
of
that
that.
true? They didn't like DM you online? Like, hi, thank you. I love that note.
Not even through the agent. There was nothing.
That's
But
so weird. People are so weird.
That's okay.
Of course it's okay, but people are weird. Like,
People are weird, but listen, the way it was given was the spirit. However it was received, I can't control.
How do you deal with this industry in a sense? Like, you're pretty normal. Like you're the same person today as you were years ago, even though you're famous now or whatever. How do you deal with the fact that there's so much bullshit in LA or Orange County or Hollywood? Just kind of like that. Oh my God, I love you. I can't wait to, and then you don't even get a text. Like, or I can't, like that thing that people do. They pretend they're so invested in everything about you, just not even business, like regular life, and then crickets.
Right. Well, I think as I've gotten older, and I think whether you're famous or not, you get to a point where you start letting people go. And if you can't let them go, you put them in a box where you understand who they are, and it doesn't upset you anymore. And that's okay.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing for me are things like, when people post pictures, and there was a thing recently where, so me, I talk a lot with my hands, and Terry and I, when we talk, we're very animated. And we were at a restaurant. We had gone to a restaurant for dinner. And afterwards, we had done the opening title shoot of the show, actually.
Yeah.
And the kids were all with us. We had a really fun time, but it was a long day. So the kids all went home, and we ended up going to Javier's and having dinner. So afterwards, we stopped by this bar. He goes, "Hey, we're having fun." Terry goes, "You want to go get like a drink over at A's at this restaurant?" I go, "Yeah, let's go, whatever." So we go over there and we get the drink, and we're talking, we're animated, and there's a picture of me, and I'm doing this.
Okay.
And Douze-moi or one of those things gets it. Yeah. And they get it, and they write like, Heather and Terry showed up at their favorite restaurant. Not true. Where they couldn't get a table. Not true. We had just eaten.
Yeah.
And Heather was berating Terry and wagging her finger at him for not getting a table.
Wow.
And then it was like, but she was stylishly dressed in a something. Anyway, so like, this whole thing comes out, and I did a funny thing on my Instagram story with Terry talking about it.
Yeah. And
then like 2 days later, this woman came up to me and goes, "Listen, just so you know, I was at A's that night, and you all were so happy and so lovey-dovey. I can't believe it." I go,
"It's so annoying."
I'm like, "Well, that's what happens. What can I tell you?" And
also, would you be berating Terry over an inability to get a table at a restaurant?
Never. And
I mean, it's just the dumbest. Like, that's not what the big blow up is going to be about.
Also, if we were fighting, we would be dead silent.
Right.
There would be no conversation. Yeah. Dead silent. Let's go home.
I go silent too.
There'd be like pissed, silent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, give me a break. And what's really ironic about the whole thing is that Terry talks with his hands too. And when he makes a point, he points. He does. He points. And a lot of times I'll say to him, "Honey, don't point at me, because people will think we're arguing." That's something I say to him. And there's the irony that I'm pointing at him. And that's the story.
So that's the hard part, is the sort of that people say things that just aren't true. And then what are you supposed to do? Defend every single time somebody says some sort of bullshit?
No. And then when you start defending, then they say you're deflecting or you're whatever it is. I think that sometimes it irritates me. Sometimes I react and respond. Sometimes I don't. Usually I don't. But the truth is, I know what I get to go home to at the end of the day. And that doesn't mean like my lifestyle, my home, or nothing like that. It means I get to go home to my family.
Of course.
My husband, my kids, my dogs.
Of course.
Max brought her cat home. She has an emotional support cat.
How is that cat?
I want to tell you something. I've never been a cat person.
Yeah.
I'm not really, forgive me. Like, I know you're such a dog person. Like, I love my dogs. They're the cutest, sweetest things.
I'm an animal person.
I could live, I know this is not popular, but I could live without animals. Like, after having so many children and living in feces for so many years, like I could not have living things around. I don't want
understand.
plants.
You need a break. I get it.
Need a break.
Yeah.
But Vincent,
the
cat, is a rescue cat. I think he's part Russian blue, part something. He's the weirdest cat. His ears, I don't know if this is normal, but his ears move independently of each other.
I never had a cat.
And
I've never lived with one.
He crinkles his brow like he needs Botox. He's got facial expressions. It's the weirdest thing. He fetches. He's like a dog. It's so
Yeah.
weird. Anyway, he hates the dogs. The dogs hate him. And so we have to keep them apart. It's a little bit of a disaster, but he's the cutest thing ever. I love him.
And you're
So,
not allergic to him.
no,
See,
don't
I'm
seem to
allergic to
be.
cats. That's my problem. I can't have
Yeah.
them. And I like them and I can't do it. But I can't anyway because my 4 little dogs, I don't think it would work out well.
No, it probably would not.
They're territorial. Not even because it's a different species. I just think they are a pack and I think they would just say no. They would just say no. So you decided to go back on Housewives. Was the shift to being back in front of the camera on a constant basis difficult, or it was like old hat because you'd done it before?
I mean, it's old hat because I feel like I've been on a set, I mean, with breaks in between to have kids and whatnot, but for, I don't know, 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
It was like old hat, not a big deal, but I'm tired. I'm older. And I know that sounds like I'm a creaky old lady, but look, my first kids I had at 34. My last child I had at 42, and also chasing around 3 other children. It was a vastly different experience.
Yeah.
It was exhausting. So, I mean, it's like, I don't know that if people realize it, but it's a lot of hours.
Yes.
It's a full-time job. And they're following your real life,
right.
But even still in my real life, and look, I don't always wear makeup on the show.
Well, that was what I was going to ask you, how that even works, like how you
do your own stuff. It's not like being on a scripted show where they have hair and makeup people for you all the time. You do your own thing. And so,
you learned. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You learn really quickly. But I mean, I started in theater, so always knew how to do my makeup. That wasn't a big deal. But now with juggling, 4 kids' schedules, I mean, 2 are in college now, but last year it was like 4 kids' schedules and Kat wasn't driving it. So I was still driving the 2 younger ones and filming and trying to get ready.
Yeah.
And that's why I wore a lot of ponytails last year, because it was just
so funny.
It was easier. But this season I felt a little more, prepared for it. Having done 1 season back, I felt a little more prepared for it. This was I can't give you details, but I will tell you, this was a very difficult season for me, and for many, many reasons.
Okay.
And I wasn't really happy.
Right. Okay. Well, that's life. I mean, unfortunately, that's sometimes you go through tough times, and that's where you have to rely on what you know that you'll get to the other side of it.
Yeah. So it's interesting. And it's interesting to see sort of the friendship shifts.
Well, so how does that work too? Because like everyone in reality TV, do y'all just know each other and y'all just call each other up because you're all on Bravo, or you all know, like, how does that?
You mean from other shows?
Work? Huh? Yeah.
Well, you know what? There's certain people that I've been friends with for years, like way before Housewives. I've known Lisa Rinna for 30 years. We were in acting class together before we had kids.
So crazy.
I've known Garcelle for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Through Housewives, I met Kyle, but I adore her. She's amazing.
But Lisa left.
Lisa just left.
Okay.
But it's like Lisa Rinna has had the most iconic career ever.
She really has.
I mean, the amount of shows that she has been on, from the soap operas to Melrose Place, to every show she's done.
Her Instagram's a show with the dancing.
Yes, that's her. And she's always been that person. And my first memory of meeting Lisa all those years ago is she was just always really nice.
Aww.
She was just always like generous and cared.
Yeah.
And just super nice. And so
I love that.
So anyway, and then some people you meet through like BravoCon, and when we used to do Bravo summer commercials all those years ago.
Right.
That's how I met Lily Galici. And, I love running into her, and we have mutual friends. And so I see her now and again, just like people like that. It's really fun.
Yeah. And what's the relationship with Andy? Because he's mostly in New York, right?
Yeah. So Andy and I have a great relationship. I think he always has thought of me as the first Jewish housewife.
Hilarious.
And he and I have had a great relationship over the years. But what's so funny is how our odd mutual friends it all came to the surface more recently in the last few years, realizing how many more people that we have in common. It's just fun.
It always happens like that.
Yeah.
I also feel like out of the Housewives, like you are sort of the least, I don't know, drama causing Housewife in the best way, not in a like.
No, I appreciate that.
I don't mean like you're boring. I don't. I mean
No,
like,
thank you.
You know what I
I'd
mean?
rather
Like
be boring.
no, I know, but I mean, I don't think that you cause conflict for the sake of causing conflict. I don't think you're a. I don't think you're a go for the jugular. I don't think you're
No.
not nasty. You're
No.
not right. Like you have your own stuff that you deal with and in your own life, and I don't know. It just you're less. You just you're nice, and that's not a pejorative. Like,
well, not everyone would probably feel that way, but the truth is,
Yeah.
if I've done something that would hurt someone, it would never be intentional.
Right. Right.
That is not me. But also, like behind the scenes, like with, let's say, with Andy or with the crew and whatnot, I'm not constantly like, there's some people on these shows
Yeah.
that are constantly calling and freaking out and complaining about this and the hours and the this and my schedule and this one did this to me and that. I never do that.
Also, why would you? Like, honestly, those camera people should be your best friends.
Right.
Anybody on set who's coordinating doing should be your best friend. Like, because though obviously in the editing, the meat of the story might be crafted or whatever, like camera angles matter. I don't want the camera person not liking me because then every angle is going to be my belly and my ass, and I'm not interested.
Always make friends with the director of photography. I said when I joined the show again last year, I go, listen, I don't care what chair I have, because historically I did care. I go, I don't care where I'm sitting. I don't care who I'm sitting next to. Just would you please, I'm old. Would you please just put me in the good light?
Hold on.
And the thing is,
I have to stop you because the chair thing, I don't think people understand this. Like, when I used to do television and I would like go on the Today Show or do Entertainment Tonight or be in anything with a panel, I would sweat. And this was after, it was both when I was heavy and when I wasn't. I would sweat, Heather, about my fucking placement, because if you're seated on the end of a semicircle, you will look twice the size of everyone else in that semicircle, whether you are or you aren't, and it's cruel. And if you're somebody if you're in New York City, like I'm fat in New York City or I'm fat in Hollywood, that's just the way of the world. It sucks. In the middle of America, I'm skinny. Like that's just life, and that's fine. I'm okay with me. But if I'm next to an actor who is an actor size of skinny and I'm a normal looking regular girl and I'm put on the fucking end, I can't concentrate with what I'm going to say because I just know that the whole thing is going to be extra chins and an extra belly and an extra arm. I don't want it.
That's why I always ask, like, what's
hysterical.
I always ask what the chair is.
Yep.
Because if I'm worried about cellulite, if it's a chair, if it's a stool and my skirt's short,
that's hilarious.
I just can't.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
So I always say, put me in the good light. But to go back to the point of complaining and like all that kind of stuff, it's very important. And I don't care what your job is. If you complain all the time, and if you always have issues, when it's actually important, no one's listening to you.
Right.
It is white noise.
Wolf. Right.
Yeah. So I am very careful to when something needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
I feel like I get listened to because it happens rarely.
Right. Because you're not a big fetch. Yeah. And it gets annoying too. They just get annoyed.
Yeah.
As they should. Oh my God, the seat thing is so real. It's like in pictures, you're always put on the end in the picture. And it's like, I don't want to be on the end of the picture.
I know.
It just doesn't work, but people don't. And that's the other thing. Like whenever people think, sometimes you look at someone online and you think, and I know your husband's a plastic surgeon and all that, and Botox is fair and whatever. But sometimes people will think that either you've done more than you have or someone else has done more than you have just because you know how to be on camera and you know how to light yourself. Like, lighting and angles do a lot.
There's also genetics. I mean,
Sure.
I'm pretty lucky. I do the maintenance stuff. I get the Botox, I get some Sculptra, especially in the temples, whatever. I haven't had plastic surgery. I have real breasts. This is my face. You've known me for a million years. I haven't had my nose done.
It is your face. Correct.
I'm not against it. And look, I look in the mirror every day and I'm like, is it time? Should I do it? Should I not do it? If I don't do it, will I be able to get those roles that no one else can play because I'm going to look old? I don't know. I'm weighing the options and I don't know. I don't really want to.
Keith said to me the other day, I was doing something in my closet. And he walked by, and I was upset about something, and he's like, "Are you going to be one of those women who winds up with a furrowed brow?" And I'm like, "No, I've just been upset, and I'm going to need Botox in the next month, but I'm going to really work hard not to be that lady." Like, it was really funny. I'm like, the reason the forehead is smooth is because of the injections.
Right. I need Botox so badly right now. Oh my gosh.
People don't understand what it does. It gives me an emotional lift. Like, it actually brightens my mood. It's not really about other people, other than, like, I unfortunately can't have a poker face. So if I don't have some paralysis, I have zero emotional privacy because everything comes out.
That's
But
so funny.
it's true though. And also when I, like you were just talking about, when I look at myself and my face has been falling lately, and like, I've never done filler. I've only done Botox, and I did my upper eyelids in 2018. It was the best thing I've ever done in my whole, like, it was just, I'm so happy I did it.
Good.
But I'm starting to get like the marionette lines around your mouth. And I do not
I
like
don't
them.
think
Like,
filler,
I use the
I don't know.
silicone patches on those. I use like, there's the brand I like is Dermaclara. Anyway, they're good. You put the silicone patch. Helps a little bit.
You know what people are saying now is you stick your head in an ice bath.
But then you're cold, and I have Raynaud's, and my fingers will hurt.
So
Like,
do
can't-
I. Oh my God, we're such a hot mess. You know
Yeah.
what I'm really into right now? Have you done the lymphatic drainage massage?
No, and does it do anything? Does it make you have to pee?
No.
Okay.
All right. So in the spirit of staying young, looking good, and figuring this section out, I don't.
It is a section.
It is a section. So this might sound weird, but I really don't get facials.
That's not weird. Neither do I.
Okay, because I used to when I was younger. Didn't your mom take you to Mario Badescu?
My friends still get them all the time. I think they don't do anything for me. I'll dermaplane myself, and I wash my face. I like a dermaplane. I like a smooth face.
Me too. And I just did that yesterday, and I cannot believe how
it's like chicken skin. It's so
Oh,
nice.
so
I know.
good.
But I don't do
love it.
facials. Yeah, I don't like it.
I feel like too much touching isn't
Yes,
good.
correct.
Okay, less is more. Okay,
Yeah.
but here's the things I'm into right now.
Yeah.
I really like the infrared sauna.
Really?
I really do. 40 minutes. I watch television. It's really the only time I watch TV.
Yeah.
Is in the sauna. It's 40 minutes. It's hot. You're naked. You're by yourself. You sweat. But here's the pro tip that I learned from this gal, Flavia, who does the lymphatic drainage massage in LA. She's brilliant.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, she told me because it's, she goes, "Do you ever feel dry when you walk out?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "It's because infrared heats you from the inside out."
Oh.
So it's leaching out the toxins. That's what it's doing. It's like producing a fever, leaching out the toxins, but you're losing your moisture. She goes, "You have to put your creams on before you go in."
Oh.
Game changer. I put on all my face creams and I put on body cream.
Yeah.
Then I get in, do the whole thing, and it's all absorbed by the time I come out, but in the most delicious way. I love it so much. I think it's amazing. That's the first thing. And the second thing is the lymphatic drainage massage. So I'm sure you have this in New York.
I'm sure.
But so there's this Flavia gal, Lanini. She's very expensive. She's worth every penny. But there's also this place called The Talks. I'm not sponsored by any of these people. I'm just sharing.
Yeah.
There's this place called The Talks. It's in Costa Mesa. There's a couple in LA. And it was like, they gave me the address and they're like, "It's Unit B." That terrified me. I'm like, I'm not going to Costa Mesa to Unit B. I don't know what that is.
Right.
So I'm driving and I'm thinking, all right, well, if it looks sketchy, I'm just going to keep going. But it's an actual place.
Of course.
With all beautiful branded products. Okay. So Flavia had told me people come here to get skinny. She's like, she's from Brazil. She's so funny. She's like the beautiful accent. I can't do her accent, but she's like, that is a good side effect. But that's not why you come here.
Got it. Okay.
We're draining out the toxins and we're cleaning the gut. And it's about gut health.
Yeah, it's all about gut health.
Oh, it's all about the gut.
Yeah.
So you do this thing. Anyway, she's phenomenal. Tox is amazing. The products are so good. And you walk out and you feel good. And you look like your stomach is flatter. It's like a great thing to do before vacation stuff. But I'm just saying, like, as a regular wellness thing, I really like these two things.
Doing those. Okay. Infrared and lymphatic massage.
I like it.
And what about the food? Are you still Dubrow dieting? Like, what's your food plan now?
I mean, my life plan is, and we wrote 2 books, and the other one is the other diet book we did was the Keto Fusion diet, which is really fabulous. If you prefer something different and you like keto, For me, my life is really the Dubrow diet.
Yeah, I know.
And so I'm an intermittent faster.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
me too.
And when I go on vacation, I will not do that and I'll eat lunch and whatever. But in general, it keeps me energized and young. I'll tell you what is interesting. So I never drank coffee until like a couple of years ago. And so I started drinking first the Lion's Mane coffee, and I do it like you do it. I got the non-dairy creamer, or I use oat milk.
It's delicious.
Delicious.
It's like a
Like
milkshake.
I know, I love it.
It's like a freaking milkshake.
But you know what? I realized with the amount of oat milk that I was putting in mine, that I was breaking my fast.
Of course, I know it. But yeah, hello,
duh. Well, I don't know. I was like enjoying it.
Heather, it's a milkshake. So here's the problem. So you have to know that. Like my fast isn't long. My fast is 14 hours. 15
That's great,
hours.
though. That's fantastic.
It's fine. As long as you're over 12, you're really okay. And if you can get to 14 or 15 or 16, great. I don't like for me to go past 16 hours. Doesn't work well for me if I go past that. But like that coffee is that is how, like if I have the coffee, I might not have food for another 2 or 3 hours, but that coffee breaks the fast. Yeah, 100%.
So my thing is, we eat later.
Okay, so you're later at night. You can't.
So all of a sudden, my fast was getting so short, and I didn't realize it. And I brought on this new functional medicine doctor that I'm obsessed with.
Like an
I'm
MD?
going to tell you something else.
Because I like a functional medicine.
Yeah,
doctor.
she's an MD. Her name is Cambria Judd, Judd. I'm obsessed with her. She's so fabulous. She's a mom. She's got 4 kids.
Love that.
She's so cool.
Yeah.
And Hoag, the hospital here, the big hospital where Terry's on staff, they opened like an East meets West functional medicine center.
A lot. I believe in that.
It's very us.
Cross-pollination. Do the whole thing.
So I can't remember why I brought her up.
Well, is she helping you with like not
she's
having
helping with
the
the other
milkshake
stuff.
coffee in the morning?
She's the one.
Yeah.
She's the one that said to me, she's like, you're that's a much shorter fast. And I went, holy crap. No wonder I've gained 4 pounds. Or whatever.
I mean, it's obviously a much short, but the 4 pounds, listen, at this age, unfortunately, I feel like it's all that much harder. Like I have an extra 5 pounds that I want to lose, but I also know to lose the 5 pounds,
you got to suffer.
Oh, really suffer.
Yeah,
and like, I'm suffering anyway right now. Like everything else is making me suffer. And I'm like, I'm not sure I can tolerate the extra suffering for the 5 stupid pounds that are not about my health. So like, I always like to explain to people, like I have my head on straight. I know what's health related and what isn't. And I'm just being an asshole with like, oh, but there's 5 pounds I'd like to I don't really care that much, but I care in the sense that like, I'd like to lose 5 pounds.
Right. I get that. Look, after I had my foot surgery, I gained a lot of weight and I was totally okay with it. And I just lived in that space. And
then you got out of it.
And then I got out of it and whatever.
Right.
But she said that to me. And so I stopped drinking the coffee for a few days just to see. And now I just don't drink coffee anymore.
You gave it up.
And I gave it up. And I had one the other day and it wasn't as delicious as I remembered. So I'm kind of happy about that.
Yeah.
But here's another little thing that Dr. Judd gave me.
Tell me.
This sounds so disgusting, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I'm going to have to send you a screenshot.
Okay.
So have you ever taken glutathione?
No.
All right. So another doctor gave me this a long time ago, but the way he gave it to me, it was so disgusting. I couldn't take it. And I didn't really understand. And he didn't explain why I was taking it, which I don't like. I don't like when people say, just take it because. You have to give me a reason why I'm taking it.
Is it an amino acid?
Glutathione, I don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
But what I do know is it's really good for your liver. And especially if I know you don't drink alcohol, but if you drink, and also just to detoxify your liver and all that. And there's this other thing called liver sauce. I know that sounds disgusting, but you take 2 pumps of the glutathione and a little swig of the liver sauce, and you hold it in your mouth. I know it sounds gross. I kind of like it now. And you hold it in your mouth for 30 seconds, then you swallow it.
Is it actually liver?
No.
Oh,
it's just called liver sauce because it helps your liver.
Okay,
so these are both very detoxifying things, and you do it in the morning. I'm telling you, I love it. It has totally changed it for me.
I take seed probiotic. That's my idea of a good time. And a few vitamins. Yeah. I take probiotic and I take like some vitamins. And then I take
a lot of things. I have like 100 pills.
But that's fine. But I don't know if I could do a liver drink.
You just plug your nose.
Okay.
It's fine.
It depends on the ingredients. I'm really weird about ingredients. Like
I'm going to send it to you.
Okay. I want to see what it is. But
I'm going to send you a picture.
Yeah. Okay. I want to see that. I like anything that's going to keep me healthy. See, I care about the vanity stuff, but with the double dead parents, I really care about being healthy. But obviously not enough because I eat sugar and sugar is the devil. But I don't think that sugar is the devil, and this is a hot take. I don't think it's as bad as we make it out to be. I think it's bad in excess. I do.
Yeah.
I know it's bad in excess.
Well, I think everything in moderation,
Correct.
obviously.
I think if you have sugar in your coffee and that's the sugar you have in the day, no big deal. Or if you have a
Right.
piece of candy every day, no big deal. You have one cookie, no big deal. If you have 6 cookies and sugar in your coffee and a chocolate bar and a piece of cake, it's not going to be great for your pancreas long term.
Right.
I don't
Long
think.
term.
Right.
But you know what? We're in a different generation, and I feel like we take care of ourselves more. For me, it's not so much about like when I was younger, it was like, how do I look? And obviously being an actress and being on TV, that's the whole thing.
Oh, if you're on TV every day, you're going to be thin just because you know.
Yeah. And
There's
then
no way around
also
it. Yeah.
then going from scripted to unscripted where, it's not a whole lighting setup and a
Right.
thing, and you're in a swimsuit a lot. And I'm like whatever. That was all a lot. But at this point in my life, for me, I would say in the last 10 years, for me, it's more about, or 5 years, it's more about being healthy and being strong.
Yeah.
Because I remember a few years ago seeing a picture of Goldie Hawn, and she had a backpack on with her granddaughter in the backpack on her back. And,
strong.
I don't know how old she was, but like she's older than us. She's like 20 years older maybe. And she's like, walk in. And I'm like, see, that is healthy. And I'm not judgmental about people's bodies anyway, but I wasn't evaluating the tone of her skin,
Of course,
or how much she weighed,
yes,
or what. All I saw in that photo was strength.
I love that.
I was like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want to be that.
I got to figure out why I'm so resistant to the strength training.
You must, for your bones.
Believe me, I know my bones are an issue. It's true. And just to be clear, because some of my what I eat in a day videos do have a lot of sugar in them, but my hormones are in the crazy time. Like I am in the perimenopausal crazy time. Yeah. And no matter how much rationalizing I do and how much I try to plan, I'm a beast. It's very fucking primal.
I know, but you just have to go with it.
I am. Honestly, it'll change. I know. Yeah, it's just. It will. Oh my God. I know that now Hollywood's talking about menopause and perimenopause and it's chic and stuff, but man, it comes at you like a truck. Like, I don't think we're ever adequately prepared for this next phase because of the lack of control feeling that you get. And if you're like you or you're like me, like I'm a pretty controlled individual in how I live my life. So when there's things that I feel like I cannot, like I can't determine how I do a certain thing because my body's saying something else, it makes me feel crazy.
I know. It's so hard.
I know. I'll get through it. We all do. I mean, that's what women do. But it should be talked about more than it is.
Totally. And it's almost like going through puberty again. In
reverse. It is. It's called that.
Yeah. And you get like, good months, bad months, good weeks, bad weeks, good. And then, and it could go on, like you could have like a good run of 6 months and then you're a disaster. It's crazy.
It's crazy, but that's all very real. That's actually the normal.
And then it's depressing because you start to feel old. And then it took me a while to get out of that mindset.
But Heather, that's just the narrative that's been sort of thrown at us. Is it like that whole men get distinguished and women get old? And it doesn't really it's actually, it all sort of comports with how you feel as you get older, like naturally, like, I don't know. I'm tired of the whole, everyone has to be sexy, 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 sexy all the time. Sexy.
Right.
Like, can I just be in my t-shirt and my sweatpants some of the time and not have to worry about being sexy? Like, can't we just age, be beautiful, be whatever the fuck you want to be. If you want to be sexy, be sexy. But this idea of like, everyone's fighting to be sexy till they're 80.
Right.
And I'm like, well, how do you even define sexy? Sophia Loren was incredibly sexy and had wrinkles.
Right. Because she exuded that confidence and that sex appeal.
Right.
And all of that. That's such an interesting way to think about things.
Like, no one would say that Sophia Loren was masculine. She was gorgeous till the end.
She had wrinkles and wore glasses.
Stunning. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm marinating on that. I don't worry about being sexy. I worry. But you know what all right, so someone said to me, this is so awful, but this was like 10 years ago.
Okay.
This girl who was probably my age now,
Mm-hmm.
back then she was like 10 years older than me. And she was like, "Oh, everything dries up." She was like lamenting. And I remember saying to Terry, "Oh my God, that's terrible." And then maybe 2 years ago, I said, "Do you remember when so-and-so," and I'll never forget it, told me that everything dries up. And I'm thinking, your face, your vag, like
Yeah.
what, everything like fucking
Yeah.
dries. And so he goes, "Honey, it's not going to be you. You're going to keep yourself young and whatever." So for me, what's very important, more than like worrying about of course I worry about the way I look.
Yeah.
Totally. Of course.
Yeah.
I'm a woman. I have a Zoom mirror. I'm on television. Yes, I worry
Yes.
about all that.
Often that's there's nothing wrong with worry. Having my
Yes.
mother used to say, "While I have my vanity, I have my sanity."
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true. And so I
Mm-hmm.
do worry about that. But more importantly, I want to feel young. If
Yes.
I can, like, I was running the stairs yesterday
Yeah.
and there was a gal there much younger than me and going much faster. And I processed it. And I had a moment of, wow, she's really running fast. And I thought, well, this is the pace I go now. And that's fine. And then I just listened to my Britney Spears music and I did the thing. But I felt
Mm-hmm.
really good. And I felt
Mm-hmm.
strong and I felt
Mm-hmm.
healthy and I felt great and I didn't feel creaky
Yeah.
and I felt great. If I feel young and not dried out,
Right.
if I feel young and moist, I feel like
No.
it's,
Yeah. No,
I
it's
know you hate
true.
that word, but it's true.
It is true. I hate the word loose more than I hate moist. I got to tell you, loose is the worst to me. Like anytime someone writes loose instead of lose, I can't
Oh,
handle it. And I hate the
yeah.
word loose. It's just
Yeah.
everything about it is
I get
no
that.
one likes anything loose unless it's diamonds. I don't want it. But yeah, but you're right. And so funny, the young thing, like I think that's part of why also I exercise as much as I do because I like that I can move all day long. Like I
Yeah.
like I like the feeling of being in motion, that it keeps going. But I will tell you, I used to be such a good hip hop dancer. I used to be so coordinated, could learn anything quickly. And now all I get is like shame and derision from my daughter because she can pick up a dance in 32 seconds, like the 22-year-olds with the
Oh, the
fucking TikTok.
Oh,
They are like in a minute doing everything and nothing is on a beat and nothing is counted anymore. There's no 8 count and
no.
nothing. And it's, it's all like snap and wave and side to side. It's a whole different. They do
I
all
can't do
different
it
things.
either.
And I can't learn them. And she'll send me a dance and I beg her to do TikTok with me. And
Yeah.
she'll send me a thing and she'll send me a dance and she'll be like, learn this and we'll do it. And then she'll come to me 45 minutes later. Did you learn it? And I'm like, learn it. Like I didn't even really look at it yet. And I need like 8 to 12 hours
And
in
an
a row.
instructor.
Yeah. And an instructor. Right. It's all, and that makes me feel old. That part definitely gets me like, how come I used to be so good at picking up a few damn steps and now I can't?
Listen, I tried to do ballet. I signed up for ballet class.
Oh,
Like, I don't know, this was like 4 years ago. It was before the pandemic. So
yeah.
I got this ballet class and I was like, oh, I love this. Got a black leotard, I had ballet shoes. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is going to be fantastic. Cause I'm so not flexible
Uh-huh.
that I really need that. And I think, I'm not a great dancer, but I've taken dance because
Sure.
of musical theater and all that. So I've taken many years of doing whatever.
Yeah.
So I go in there and I'm feeling awesome, whatever. And my back hurt so badly, I had to drop out. And I'm going to tell you why. It wasn't from the bar work.
Right.
It was from from the jumping.
Of course.
Let me tell you something, people.
Yeah.
A ballet shoe, a ballet slipper
Yeah.
is a piece of cardboard
That's
with
right.
leather around it.
Yes, it
There's
is.
no support.
None.
There's no shock absorber.
Nope.
And a ballet floor is hard lacquered
Wood.
wood.
Mm-hmm. There's no bounce.
This is not good for old people. I'm just
No.
telling you, if you're going to do ballet, don't jump.
And by the way, that's the thing. I think finding a movement that doesn't lay you out, that does make you injured, is like a good thing.
Yeah, don't get injured. That's the
Right.
number one take home of any exercise you do, whatever it is, don't get injured. I saw a new trainer the other day, trying to find a new trainer because mine retired. Hello.
That's
Anyway,
hilarious.
Tell me about it. But anyway, so she retired. So I'm trying to find a new trainer. And when I meet the new trainers, I go like this. here's what I can't do.
Right. Here's what you're not going to get from me. Oh, but that's smart because you know your body and you
I don't want to do
sidelined.
anything one-legged. I don't want to balance on a Bosu ball.
That's right.
I don't want to be, I don't want to fall.
I was
I don't want to
told,
get injured.
there was a doctor, bone doctor, because I broke ribs and stuff this last summer. Not a fun story. I flipped on stairs and landed
I remember that, but I never heard what happened.
Heather, it's so embarrassing that like,
you just tripped?
I was in socks that didn't have treads on the bottom. Now every pair of socks I wear in my house have treads on the bottom. I've turned into her. And and I go across my kitchen floor and I'm talking to Keith as I'm descending 2 steps into our den. My feet came out from under me like a pratfall, like a clown. And I went up in the air and landed right on
the stairs,
on the rib, right at the impact of the rib. So I broke 2 ribs and 3 transverse processes, which are the little nubbins on either side of the spine. So those, like, you know how the spine's a column, but on the sides you see those like things that look like this, like handles. So 3 of those broke. And it was crazy. But then what I found out is that because I lost so much weight 12 years ago, that took away some of my my bone density. Like, nobody tells you when you lose 70 pounds because you need to lose it, not because it was like for health, I had to lose weight. So I did, but I didn't know that would impact my bones. And also I'm over 50. So I was technically one of the, I'm doing it again next summer. Cause I was like, I'm doing it again next summer. I'm going to eat like meat. I don't really eat meat, but whatever. So they did the DEXA scan and I was considered osteopenic from one of the numbers. Like 2 of them were okay, and one of the numbers was osteopenic, which is like osteoporosis light. It's like you're not quite you don't have it, but you're very close. But because I broke my bones, they consider it osteoporosis because clinically, if you have osteopenia and you break bones, they say it's a little osteoporosis.
So what are they doing for you?
Nothing, because it's not really anything at this point, and I'm not treated yet because I don't need to be. Like, I'll need to redo the testing in the summer. Right. I need to lift weights. But my point is, the injuring myself was not. I don't recommend it to people. Like, just avoid injury. But so this is what. So I went to this doctor, and she said to me, at this age, we're supposed to be working on balance. Things like when you brush your teeth, do it on one leg. When you're in your closet putting on your makeup, bless you, do it on one leg. Like, that's how you practice balance, as opposed to the Bosu ball. It's like, why do we have to go on a Bosu ball where you could roll your ankle?
My friend Lindsay is so funny. Like, she's 41, I think. So 4 years ago, she was in her 30s. She told me she's lying down on the floor and getting up. She's a workout-aholic, by the way. She's got a perfect figure. She's strong. She's healthy. She works out 2 hours a day. She's like a fitness queen. I go, why are you doing that? She goes, because I read somewhere that it's very important to make sure you can get up off the floor. I'm like, Lindsay, you're 36 years old and you work out 2 hours a day. You can get off the floor.
Yeah. Well, I got
hilarious.
I got news for Lindsay.
It's important.
It is important, but it's all going to be harder as we get older. But yeah, you start young, but you don't have to do the thing. I know what she was doing, the thing where you lie down and then you get yourself up without using your hands. And can you use your ankles? You use your feet. It's like, oh, don't use your knees. Fuck you. Like, let me just get up. I could get up without my hands, but I might use my knees. Like, and the knees are going to hurt. But also as we age, like, you find out new things. I'm sure Terry can tell you because he's a doctor. They used to go in and cut your knee when you were having knee trouble and knee pain, and now they don't cut up knees anymore.
Right.
Now they
Things
do
change.
PT. Right. So just keep moving. Just keep moving. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. That's all you got to do.
I have, speaking of all of our ailments, I have my hips, I have hip impingement on both sides, which basically means I can't do deep squats. I shouldn't be doing anything even close to child's pose. Anything that you bring, and that's like something I've been doing for many, many years.
Right.
But this is something I've always had. And so I didn't realize I was hurting myself all these years with it. So I had them injected and they feel so good now. And especially, honestly, sitting in the car, driving carpool for the last 19 years has really hurt my hips.
Yeah. Now I have chronic coccydynia, tailbone pain. So I'm like dealing with that. I'm going to have to do the injection thing. But you know how demoralizing it is to have to go to a doctor and have them palpate your fucking tailbone?
You're like lower.
Yeah. I mean, it's all the benefits of losing weight is that your bones stick out and then they end up hurting you. So like sitting, I have to constantly readjust. So I'm not on my tailbone and there's no
You
rhyme
need
or
a
reason.
donut.
Yeah. I need a donut. I'm not, it's aging. But I
That's
wouldn't trade
you're
it.
her. You got tread socks
I know.
and a donut.
I've turned into that person. But I wouldn't trade it. I mean, I just want to be alive. So like, I don't care. Like Bunny used to say, my mother used to say surgically improved and impaired. Like if they need to inject my ass, then they inject my ass. Like what am I going to do?
Add some collagen, man. Maybe you need some sculpture around there to pad it.
From my
I'm
butt
not
bone,
kidding.
From my tailbone. Oh, and it's like shaped like a tail. Like I'd gone and so I got an X-ray like once a year. I do all these scans because of the cancers around my family, so I had an X-ray of my tailbone because of the tailbone pain, and the doctor was like, "Yeah, like your tailbone's normal, but some people have a tailbone that, while normal, is shaped like a tail." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I actually have a tail. Like it curves like a tail." Can't get anything right. So yeah,
that's funny.
I know, it's horrible. All right, so the new season of Housewives is now, right? 2023 is airing now.
It hasn't started yet.
When does it start?
We do not have an air date yet.
Okay.
But in the spring sometime, I would think.
And still shooting, or is the shooting done?
We're done with principal photography. Now it's in, the confessionals that we do.
Right.
So that we still have a few of those to do. And then the reunion, we typically film when there's like 3 episodes or 4 episodes left to air.
Yeah.
So that won't be for some time.
What's that like? Do you get nervous before, other than the seating? Do you get nervous about it?
I don't even worry about the seating. I sat next to Andy last time for the first time ever.
That's fun.
Which was fun.
Yeah.
And also concerning because it means like
you're in the hot seat.
Yeah, you got shit going on. So all right, there's that. I have no problem with the reunion because I feel strong in my convictions. And I speak well.
Yeah.
And I'm not a liar. So I don't, we could argue about things and whatever, but it's not like I have to, worry about something. And look, if I said something and it made you feel bad, I'll apologize.
Right.
That's okay.
Right.
I get it.
Just life. Sometimes we say things. Yeah. And was everyone welcoming to you when you did come back?
Last year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Mostly. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Mostly. Well, at least mostly. Right. At least you got mostly.
I got mostly.
Right. And you're still there, which is great, which is fun, and I love that you're doing it. Like, why not?
Yeah. And I think this season is people are going to like it. It feels more like the way the show used to be.
Yeah. I wish they would do like a Golden Girls with people like me who have to wear treads on their socks and don't lead the glamorous life. Yeah, no, it's really fun. And it's actually nice that the Housewives have been sort of getting older like the rest of us. Like they didn't just go, that Andy wasn't just like, let's get a whole new crew that's only 25 to 32 with babies.
Yeah, no, it's true. But it is nice when you get an influx of people that are honestly, authentically in your circle.
Sure.
That are like, I'm going out to dinner with a group of girls tonight. Yeah. One's pregnant. One has, little kids. One has older kids. One has kids out of the house. Like, it's just like, it's a normal friend group of all ages. And I think that's cool.
Yes, that's true. Yes, there are friends. Yeah, because I have friends I have friends with middle school and high school.
Yeah.
Kids.
Right. I have friends with babies.
I have a niece with a baby. I have my sister's kid's baby.
Oh my gosh.
I know, baby Archie. He's so cute.
Oh my, how old is he?
Stacey's a grandma.
He's crazy.
A few weeks old. She's Grams. That's right now. I know.
Is she loving it?
She's loving it. It's really, she's
oh my God,
having the best time with baby Archie. But
I look forward to that.
Yeah, but I don't have any friends with babies. That's young. That's California though too. That's where you are.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I remember my mom when we were growing up, she had friends who were like much older and she had friends that were much younger. And I always thought it was super weird because when you're in high school, you're like, all your friends are the same age as you.
Yeah.
And so I remember her saying to me, look, it's really nice to have friends of all different ages and stages because you all learn from each other. And what you think, sometimes a younger perspective is interesting and an older perspective or someone that's been through it already, or, it's good to do that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Well, thank you for being on the podcast. podcast.
Of course.
Yeah, you guys can follow Heather Dubrow everywhere. Obviously, you already know Heather Dubrow's World, her podcast. If you don't, you should download it, listen, check out Real Housewives of Orange County when it comes back, and the reruns that air whenever they air. Follow her everywhere. And what are you selling these days? What's the products?
We still have Consult Beauty and Consult Health that we've had for years and years and years.
Yep.
So you can go to Consult Beauty, Beaute, Consult Beauty, Beauty.com, or shophq.com. You can get all your products there, and follow me everywhere at Heather Dubrow.
Thank you again. Thanks for listening, you guys. I'm at Just Jenny Hutt on Instagram, at Jenny Hutt on TikTok and Twitter. And yeah, share the podcast, tell your friends, and I will be back here per usual tomorrow.